What's good, y'all? It's really crazy to think about, but we're already almost at All-Star break. At the time you guys are seeing this video, in just 2 short days, All-Star Weekend is going to be happening. And I don't know about you guys, but I am always pretty excited for All-Star Weekend. You know, sometimes the game is lacking, but usually the events that are going on is pretty fun. And then also just the whole spectacle of it makes it an enjoyable experience for me, at least. So in this video, I'm going to be going through each and every event of All-Star Weekend. I'm going to be talking about who's participating in it, you know, how they're going to do, my predictions on who will win each event. So without further ado, let's start off with the with the least exciting event, which is the Celebrity All-Star Game. This year though, I think it could be decent maybe. I always go into the Celebrity Game with super low expectations and, you know, just kind of hope that they surprise me with it. Last year I liked it because they started to get more athletes involved. You know, they had like Myles Garrett out there, or I'm forgetting his name right now, but the Italian high jumper, like guys like that can dunk and make highlight blocks and all these different things. I feel like that is really cool to have in the game. And in this season, they also have guys like Micah Parsons, CJ Stroud. They also do have that Italian high jumper returning. So the fact that they have athletes in there, I'm really excited for that. Then they also got social media guys like T-Jazz, who, you know, obviously he knows what he's doing on the basketball court. He should definitely have some highlight plays. Kai Cenat, I'm pretty excited to see just because I think it's funny. You know, he's a great entertainer. I'm sure he's going to go out there kind of on some Kevin Hart type stuff and just entertain the crowd, which is what it's all about, really. And then also, you know, the retired NBA players like Metta World Peace is in it this year. They have some WNBA players in there as well. Again, go in it with super low expectations and hope for something cool, and I think that this year it could be pretty cool. But now that we got that out the way, let's take a look at the first real event, and in my opinion, the event that I am most excited for, and that is the Rising Stars Challenge. Last year, they kind of switched it up where it was, you know, like the 4 different teams, and it's a tournament bracket where it's like super, like short games, but high pace and everything like that. I was really excited to watch it last season, and it was great. And this season, I think it's going to be even better. In case you don't know what the new format is, basically they had 3 team captains, or 3 coaches basically, that drafted from a pool of sophomore and rookie players. They drafted those teams, and then a 4th team is all G League teams. It's mostly G League Ignite guys with a few other G Leaguers in there as well. So let's take a look at the first squad, and that is Team Pau, drafted by Pau Gasol. I do want to say there's no depth charts or anything released really, so I just kind of roughly made the starters and the 2 reserves for each team. For Team Pau though, we see Brandon Podziemski, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Brandon Miller, Jabari Smith Jr., Victor Wembanyama, Cason Wallace, and Bilal Coulibaly. I really like Team Pau. I think that he drafted an incredible team. Funnily enough, he drafted pretty much all rookies. Jabari Smith Jr. is the only sophomore on his team, but I don't think that's at fault to him. I think this team's still going to be really, really nice. They have a lot of great length. You know, of course, when you have Victor Wembanyama, you're going to have a lot of length, but then also Jabari Smith Jr., Brandon Miller, Jaime Jaquez, Podziemski too. Their whole starting lineup that I'm projecting has a whole lot of length to it. They're all high IQ basketball players on this team. He's got great defenders, guys that can shoot the ball. You know, he really doesn't have any true weaknesses to this team. The one real weakness you could say that he has is there's no real point guard on this roster, but I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue between Wemby and Podziemski, you know, Jaime Jaquez Jr. And Cason Wallace, all those guys. I think they can kind of piece together the playmaking on this roster, and I think they're going to be really good. Next up, we have Team Tamika, drafted by Tamika Catchings. On her team, she has Scoot Henderson, Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, Paolo Banchero, Jalen Duren, Keontae George, and Dyson Daniels. In case you guys did not see, Dyson Daniels did mess up his knee pretty recently, and he's going to be out for some extended period of time. So obviously he won't be playing in the Rising Stars Challenge for Team Tamika. They'll replace him with someone else, another sophomore or rookie that's not already competing in this event. They just haven't announced it yet, so I couldn't put him on the graphic. So, you know, I just wanted to let you guys know in case you missed out on that. Funnily enough, Tamika pretty much did the exact opposite of Pau Gasol and drafted mostly sophomores, only having Scoot Henderson and Keontae Keontae George as her only rookies on the roster. I also really do like Team Tamika. You know, she's got a lot of talent on this roster. She also has a lot of size, kind of like Team Pau as well. You know, between Jalen Duren, Paolo Banchero, Keegan Murray, like that starting front court right there, they all got some good size, some good solid bodies as well. I also do like her guard rotation. You know, obviously I mentioned before Dyson Daniels is not going to be playing anymore. But even with him out of the rotation now, she still has Scoot Henderson, Jaden Ivey, and Keontae George. So at all times, she's going to have at least one guard out there that can run the offense. The biggest hole in her roster, in my opinion, though, is the lack of shooting. She really doesn't have any plus shooters on this team. Jaden Ivey, he's been having a great season shooting from three, so, you know, you can count him as there. Keegan Murray, he's been having a down season, but, you know, in his whole career, he's been a plus three-point shooter. Besides those two guys, though, they really don't have too many other shooters. I mean, Keontae George, you can kind of throw him into there, but, I mean, Paolo Banchero, he still doesn't have a full three-point shot. Scoot Henderson has been pretty bad shooting the ball. You know, Jalen Duren doesn't shoot threes, so that could be their one downfall. Now looking at our third team, we have Team Jalen, drafted by Jalen Rose. As you can see, Shaedon Sharpe has a little asterisk because just like Dyson Daniels, he's also hurt and will not be playing. They did announce his replacement though, and that is Jeremy Sochan. And alongside Jeremy, we have Bennedict Mathurin, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Derek Lively, Jordan Hawkins, and Walker Kessler. Now I know I brought up size when talking about the last two teams, but this team is way bigger than both of those teams. You know, they have 3 centers on the roster. You're starting 2 of them. They're going to have 1 or even 2 amazing rim protectors on the court at all times. So that's definitely going to help muck up some of that offense for the opposing teams. Their one weakness, though, is they don't really have any guard play. Not even just point guard, but they don't have any natural guards on the roster, really. You know, they have Bennedict Mathurin, who I see a little bit more as a wing. Jordan Hawkins, who's definitely way more of a shooting guard than a combo guard or point guard. So I could just see them really struggling to run an offense like that. I think we're going to see a lot of Jalen Williams bringing the ball up, a lot of Jeremy Sochan bringing the ball up. It definitely sucks that Shaedon Sharpe got hurt because he would have helped this team out a whole bunch. And the last of the teams participating in the Rising Stars Challenge is the G League team, or Team Detlef, coached by Detlef Schrempf. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And this G League team consists of Mac McClung, Ron Holland, Matas Buzelis, Tyler Smith, Eisen Almansa, Aldonis Williams, and Oscar Tshibwe. I hope I pronounced those guys' names right. I'm sure I messed up a few of them, but my fault. To be honest with you guys, I don't really know much about any of these players. Obviously, you know, Mac McClung, I know he's a dunker. Ron Holland, I've heard the name. Matas Buzelis, I've heard the name. But besides that, like, I haven't really watched any G League Ignite games. I don't know about you guys, but I really focus on the NBA, and that's pretty much it. That consumes all of my basketball knowledge, really. But just, you know, surface level looking into them, this team does have a lot of size. Majority of them are 6'8 plus. That's kind of been the trend of the NBA recently, has been, you know, be at 6'8, 6'9 range, have guard type skills, be able to handle the ball, shoot, and whatever. And a lot of these guys fit that exact mold. So it should be cool to see them play against, you know, these other young NBA players. Last season, the G League team got pretty much demolished, and I'm kind of expecting the same this year just because the talent level is just not there. But at the same time, it should be fun to watch them. And now that we went through all the rosters, it's time to predict who I think is going to win. And to be honest with you guys, I think Team Pau and Team Tamika have the best 2 teams by a decent margin, if I'm being honest. I really like both of their rosters. I think they have minimal weaknesses, a lot of talent all around. Really happy with them. And depending on matchups, basically, as long as they don't face each other in the first round, I'm pretty confident that those are the 2 teams we're going to see in the finals. And if that's the case, I definitely see Team Pau taking the victory for the 2nd year in a row. Pau Gasol, you might have to be hired by one of these teams, you know, in the front office or something, because you just seem way too good at drafting these teams. The next event up is the Skills Challenge, which we have 3 teams of 3 competing against each other in this event. The first team is Team Pacers, which has Tyrese Haliburton, Bennedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. The second team is Team All-Stars, which has Trae Young, Tyrese Maxey, and Scotty Barnes. And the last team is Team First Overall Picks, which has Anthony Edwards, Paolo Banchero, and Victor Wembanyama. The Skills Challenge is another event that I'm really excited to watch. I think this is by far the most underrated event. I think that it's really cool to watch these players, compete in the relays and the different events within this one event. I'm a really big fan of it. When we look at the teams here, I really do like the fact that wherever the All-Star is, whatever city it's in, they have that team represented. Obviously we had Team Pacers this year. Last year we had Utah having a team. The year before that we had the Cavs having a team. I just think it's really cool to see, the hometown fans get to see their players involved in this. I also really do like the first overall pick team that they have. The last few years, first overall picks they have in here. I also think it's really cool to look at the whole difference between all these different players, and they were all first overall picks. We have Anthony Edwards, who's, a scoring shooting guard over there. Then we have Paolo Banchero, who is, a kind of do-it-all forward. And then we have Victor Wembanyama, who is, the center, the 7'4", freak of an athlete, freak of a man, I just think it's really cool to see the differences between all first overall picks. Then if you ask me, the team All-Stars is kind of whack. I feel like they just picked a bunch of different random guys and kind of put them together because they didn't know what to have as this last team. You can call me biased or whatever, but I personally would have had Team Villanova. I feel like that would have been cooler if you had Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. Again, I am a Knicks fan, so you can call me biased if you want, but I just feel like that would have been cooler to see, the chemistry like that compared to just 3 random All-Stars. And with all that being said, I think that team first overall pick will win the Skills Challenge. All 3 guys, even though we just talked about how different they all are, they all can shoot, they all can dribble the ball, they all can be athletic, they're fast. I really think that they're able to do a little bit of everything, and that's what the Skills Challenge is all about. Now moving on, we have the 3-point contest, which is one of the most anticipated of every season. Competing in this year's 3-point contest, we have Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Trae Young. Normally the 3-point contest is super hard to gauge who's going to win just because everyone in the competition are great 3-point shooters. Some of the best in the whole league are competing in this challenge right now. So it's really hard to really guess who will win. In my opinion though, the coolest outcome that would happen is in the finals we see Karl Anthony Towns versus Lauri Markkanen. 2 big men, you get to see the evolution of the game. Both these guys, 7-footers that can shoot the ball with the best of them. Not even just the best of big men, but the best of the whole league. They are really snipers like that. I think that would be really cool. Another cool outcome would be Malik Beasley versus Damian Lillard. 2 bucks in the finals versing off each other. But if I had to choose one player, obviously, like I said, I am a Knicks fan, so it would be really nice to see Jalen Brunson win it, and I think he has the capabilities of winning it. But I do think that Tyrese Halliburton will win it in front of his home crowd in Indiana. He just has the ability to shoot it from all around, from deep, to get those starry deep balls as well. He can really do it all. If it's not him though, I got Karl Anthony Towns winning it for the 2nd time. He just is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, 3-point shooting big man of all time. He's shooting incredibly this year, and I think he will get the recognition. And this year, they're also doing a little bit of an extension onto the 3-point contest, doing Steph Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu. I think that is going to be really, really fun. I'm super excited for this. I do want Sabrina to win just to kind of, promote the WNBA a little bit more, get all of these guys that are in the Instagram comments really quick to just say, oh, it's women, I don't care, just to shut them up really quick, because that stuff is really corny. If you guys do that, I'm gonna be honest, you're a cornball. And I already know if she does win, all those people that are in the comments are gonna be real quick to say, oh, it was a shorter line, it's a smaller ball, all this type of stuff. Yeah, what do you mean? That's what she's been shooting with her whole life. That is what the women shoot with. I don't get it. That's not an excuse, But at the same time, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, the best 3-point shooter of all time. So I just hope it's close. I really don't care who wins, who, whatever. I hope it's close, and I hope they put on a show, and I'm sure they will. And the last event of All-Star Weekend that we have is, of course, the dunk contest. This year's contestants is All-Star Jaylen Brown, reigning champion Mac McClung, rookie Jaime Jaquez Jr., and high flyer Jacob Toppin. Now, if I'm being honest, I am pretty disappointed in the fact that there's not a lot of star power throughout the dunk contest. It's been an issue for the past several seasons where no all-stars, no upper echelon level players want to compete in the dunk contest, and it is really disappointing as a fan. You know, selfishly, I just want to see the top guys compete in this. But I am really happy that Jaylen Brown took the initiative to kind of maybe encourage other All-Stars to come back and compete in the dunk contest. You know, back in the day, you had Michael Jordan competing in the dunk contest, Clyde Drexler competing in the dunk contest, Vince Carter competing in the dunk contest. We need those level players back in the dunk contest. You know, I want to see Anthony Edwards. I want to see Ja Morant. I want to see Zion Williamson. I want to see LeBron James at 45 years old. I want to see all these high-level players. So hopefully Jaylen Brown will kind of get that ball rolling a little bit. But at the same time, last year, Mac McClung put on an absolute show. He really showed out. So, I mean, if you're in the G League and you're going to be dunking like this, I'm fine with it. You know, Mac McClung put on a show. Jacob Toppin, who's in the G League, put on a show. I hope that they go crazy. I just really do also want those all-star level players. And this season, I am predicting Mac McClung to make it back to the finals and face off against Jaylen Brown. But this year, I see Jaylen Brown winning it, you know, finally having an all-star win the dunk contest for the first time in forever. And with him winning, it's going to get these other guys to want to play again. You know, hopefully, maybe when he wins, he'll call out some of these other guys to say, hey, next year, I'm running it back. You guys better be here with me. That's my hope. You know, a guy can dream. Let me know down in the comments, though, who you guys think will win each event. Which event are you most excited for? Like I said, I'm definitely most excited for the Rising Stars Challenge. But right behind that, I think it might be the Skills Challenge, to be honest. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.